And then was Neighbours? How long was your initial contract on Neighbours?
Oh, it was 3 years. And so I'm actually on my third lot of 3 years. So I'm in my eighth year.
Yeah, wow. And that's
Yeah,
are you
it's gone so
it
quick.
time disappears like crazy on the show. Um,
Mhm. Yeah, it does. When I first got the job, I was like, oh God, I think I can only do a year. And oh, how will I cope? And now it's just like, oh God, yeah,
was it easy to
just
step
hanging in
back
there.
in when because obviously you'd done Home and Away, you knew the speed. I guess it's a bit faster now even than when what you were doing on Home and Away, but um, did that come back to you quite quickly?
Yeah, look, I think it did. I mean, look, I really thrive. Oh, look, I'm sure I was, it took a few weeks to get into the swing of things.
Yeah, as it does for anyone.
Um, but I really thrive doing this genre, and I think it's a very specific genre for not a lot of actors can do
Mm.
it. As we were talking before, we get a lot of incredible film and stage actors come in, and they kind of crumble a little bit because even though they are fabulous actors, they're not quite cut out for this sort of
Yeah,
genre. You
yeah,
know what I mean? It's a real, it's almost an over the
yeah,
top, um, sort of almost overacting. But you have to be able to sort of pull it back when necessary. And I think it's a real, um, like I far enjoy it more than I do, say, film or even another drama. Because it's just that keeps you on
yeah.
the
There's a real
toes,
play with it.
and it's just
You really can
sorry.
play with it at that point when you figure out
Yeah,
where it's supposed
yeah,
to
and
be.
it's fun, and it's really fun, and I like the idea of it almost sort of okay,
Yeah,
next,
yeah,
next, um, sometimes it would be nice to sort of spend a little bit more time on that craft, and I think a lot of actors do come into the show sort of overthinking stuff a little bit too much, unfortunately, and we just don't have
yeah,
time for that. So it can be very frustrating for a lot of actors working on a show like this because it is so fast. Whereas I like to, as you probably know, like to work on instinct, and I don't think about it too much. Uh, probably
and
shows sometimes.
like because
Uh,
that's not a bad way to work either. It's not something that it's because some people like need to do the bookwork in a way, need to write little essays basically on each thing to
mm,
figure it out. Whereas
mm,
like I'm sort of similar to you in a lot of ways where I need because I overthink about so much. I kind of actually need to figure out ways to remove that thinking. So a lot of the written stuff, and trying to break down a script and that kind of thing, I kind of need to step aside from because I can do that quite quickly in my head. And if I do it even more, then when I'm doing the scene, that's all I'm thinking
mm,
about. When I want to be able to just access
mm,
the present moment and rely on that and be in it. So for you,
yeah.
how did you when you were a kid? If you remember, how did you approach it? Was it just that the lines and you were told to believe this thing, so you did, and that's how you did it?
Pretty much, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'd had no training or anything. Um, I'd sort of just rely on the director, I guess, and just make sure I knew my lines. And I can't really remember,
Yeah,
to be honest. I think it was just sort of um, just worked very naturally like that. And I guess that's why I still sort of go with that. I guess
well,
in a
it works
way.
for you, so why mess with something, you know?
Well, most of the time.
Did you dabble in other like methods and that kind of stuff? No.
No,
Did
no,
you
no,
ever
no.
do much like because when you said you wanted to get back into it, what sort of classes were you doing at that point?
Oh, I was just doing sort of audition workshops and things like that. And just to just try and break down that sort of
Yeah.
the nerves really.
Which I think is the thing that gets in the way for people the most, because I've got friends who are incredible actors, and they don't get much work, and I've never seen them in the audition room, so I don't know. But I can only imagine that
They
there
crumble.
must be something that gets in the way for them in that space, and like the audition space is just absurd. Like it's the
Absolutely.
furthest from anything. To do it's nothing
Ugh.
like it's nothing like being on set, and it's nothing like the actual reality of the situation for the character either. So it's a weird place to test whether someone can do
It's a
be that person,
Yeah.
you know. But somehow
Yeah.
it's what's been the accepted way of doing things for such a long time, and I don't know how that's going to change.
Yeah.
Self-testing might help
Yeah.
in certain ways, but
Well, I haven't done a self tape yet. I mean, I have done a few over the years, but I haven't, like, now that it's such a big
yeah,
thing. I kind of love the idea of that because I like the idea of being in control,
yeah,
and being able to,
go for another
um,
take.
yeah. But I'm such a perfectionist that sometimes that's not
Me
great.
too. I think we're similar in that way. Which is the funny thing
Um,
about the acting style of trusting instinct. Like when you're a perfectionist,
mm,
I think maybe you're similar in that way. Like if you did do too much homework, then you start to feel that there is a perfect way to approach that script or whatever. And then when you're on set,
mm,
suddenly that's all you're thinking about is trying to nail that thing. And then you're not alive in the scene,
mm,
you're not present with the other person, and then that's when it starts to fall apart. And I think you see that with guest casts that come on, whether maybe the less experienced ones who then have a set idea of how they see a scene going, and they've already planned in their head, oh, that character will say it that way, and then I can do this, and then they'll do that, and I
yeah.
can do this, and it falls apart because the director
Yeah.
walks
No.
on and goes, take that line out, these 3 words aren't really necessary,
Yeah.
and we'll
No.
move this bit or whatever,
No.
and then they're like, oh,
That would kill
yeah,
me. I couldn't do it like that. I could not do it like that. I would, yeah. But saying that, like if I do try something, a little bit, if it doesn't work, I know straight
mm.
away. Like I know straight away. I know if it's shit. I know if
Well, that's
I
the
know
instinct
straight
thing, right?
away.
Because you're trusting a gut feeling, and when the feeling
Yeah.
isn't right, then
Mm,
it's not right. Which
mm,
I think,
mm.
and that's not to say that our characters then are us, because I don't think you're the same as Therese at all, and I don't think I'm like David.
God.
But with these kind of things, you learn your characters so deeply that it becomes like
Yeah.
sometimes I go,
It does become second
did
nature.
am I acting anymore? Am I? But it's just because you
Yeah,
do it
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
much.
It
You
does.
do
It
it
does.
so
It
much.
becomes second nature. But that's I mean that's the nature of working in something long term. And but oh God, there has been a few times where I've said something and I've gone, nah, sorry, that was
A few
Beck.
times? A
That
few
was
times?
not right. I said something like the other day, or a couple of weeks or months ago, actually, probably a couple of years ago. I remember going, oh, something, the cops, somebody called the cops. And I was like, oh, sorry, Therese would not say cops, the cops. It was just a real Beck thing,
Yeah.
because I'm such a, I'm so different to Therese. Like I'm a bit of a yobbo,
I wasn't going to say it, but
Therese, the police.
please, get the police.
So yeah, anyway, it's funny when I catch myself out. I go, "Oh, can we do that again? That was not right."
And 8 years
Yeah.
is a long time, but it's sort of not at the same time. Do you want to keep going?
Or
Yeah,
neighbours.
it's a big question, but it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh God, the thought of going out there and auditioning for other jobs makes me want to vomit.
yeah,
The thought of it is horrific,
and it is pretty.
especially at my age. Oh God, what am I going to do?
The
What
world's
am
your
I going to do?
oyster, Beck. You could do anything.
Oh God, no, I'm past all that. God, no. I'm happy, very happy to stay where I am. Let's fingers crossed the show,
Well, yeah,
has got some
yeah.
life in it yet.
Hello, and thank you for watching this Tack Talks clip. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. If you want to see the full conversation, click here. If you want to see all of the Tack Talk clips, click here. And if you want to see all of the Tack Talk conversations, click here.